lovelies, my name is Jessica and welcome to Makeup Misfit. So, are you guys ready for this? I don't think you're ready. I'm not even ready for this. I have been staring at this palette for a while, trying to grasp it, and I am so excited. So, for those of you who don't know, my Panda palette this year was the Vizier Midsummer palette. So, I'll post a photo of what it looked like at the introduction. And I am super happy and super excited with the progress that I have made this far. So, my little palette right here, I'm going to open her up, take off this little plastic piece. Are you ready? I have 3 empty pans in here, and with an 8-pan palette, I'm almost halfway there already. I can't believe it. So we're gonna go shade by shade, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about them. So this shade right here, I don't know the names of these shades, but this first shade here was like the cream-ish color shade in this palette. It had a little bit of a purple tone to it, but this is the one that I had started using prior to this project starting. I was using it to set down my lids after I finished up the cream shade of my Vizier Solstice palette. So this one did have a head start. It took me roughly a month and a half to completely finish up, just like the Solstice palette did. It give or take the same time frame. So I knew that this was not going to take me too long to finish up. And of course, it was the first shade that was gone. So I was pretty excited when I had finally completely finished that shade up in this palette. This shade right here, so it had pan on it already prior to starting this project. I would use this shade and this shade together in my crease all of the time. So I was super surprised that I had pan in this shade and not quite hit it in this shade yet. And now I'm very surprised that I've completely finished up the shade and I still have not hit pan in this shade yet. I am a lot closer, but we'll get to that in just a second. So this shade, like I said, already had pan in it, so it was just expanding the pan. I managed to get like the top corner of it, and then I was finally able to finish off the rest. I think I actually finished this shade up yesterday. It was just a very small amount. I did have to repress it because it became very crumbly. So once I repressed it, it just seemed to disappear pretty quickly, and I was able to use that one up. So this shade right here, like I said, I was using with this one in my crease shade, and I have still yet to hit pan on it, but I'm very, very close. I used it today. I use it in my crease almost every single day, at least every time I reach for this palette, which has been quite often. And I really do enjoy this shade. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting until I hit pan, and then I know that it'll probably not take too much long after that for this shade to disappear. So next we have this mauve shade right here, and I've been starting to use that one a little bit more. I wasn't really reaching for it prior to. It had a little bit of usage, but not a whole lot. But I like to use it while I still had this shade. I would use it more on my outer corner, not to deepen up or anything, but just to give it a little bit more of a mauve toned look. But once I had finished this shade up, so yesterday and today, I'd started throwing it into my crease just a little bit. So I'm using this one a little bit more now, so I feel like it's going to take a little bit of time. I'm hoping to hit pan on this one before the next update, but we shall see. This shade right here, I have a decent dip in it. I don't know if you're really going to be able to tell. I feel like if I keep using it consistently, I'm using it more so in the inner corner of my eye looks, that I could probably hit pan on this by the next update as well. And that would be pretty cool. I don't use it all the time. Most of the time I would reach for this shade, and we'll get into that one a little bit later. But now that this shade's gone, I feel like I could use this one still as my inner corner. I tried using it all over the lid, but I think it's a little bit too light for me to do that. But I do enjoy this shade. There is a decent dip in here, so I feel like it's not going to take too long. And then again, once I hit pan on here, it's probably going to disappear pretty quickly. This shade right here, you can see there's usage. This is a matte shade with some glimmer. almost with some glitter in it, so it glimmers. But I actually just started reaching for this shade like today. So I mixed this shade with this shade here to put in my crease and my outer V. I think I have a couple other matte shades and maybe a ColourPop palette. I know my Lizzie McGuire one has a matte shade with glitter in it, but I've never used it before. So this is actually the first time I've done that. And I find it works just the same as matte. So I'm not really sure the deal on those shades, but I didn't mind how that one looked. So I think I'm going to be blending and using those two shades together for the next little while and see what kind of usage I can get on this shade. So this 7th shade right here, I have not even touched. I have swatched it because I swatched this palette out last night, but I have not used it whatsoever. So that'll probably be later on, or if I feel like I want to deepen up a crease or the outer V, I mean, then I'll probably reach for this one, but it's not going to be until this shade is gone, more than likely. And then the very last one here, this shade, oh my goodness, it was a beautiful duochrome. But I was really having some issues with this shade, so I'm going to throw up a couple photos that I took. So I liked to use this one with my finger because I found with a brush, at least a dry brush, I never tried it wet, it didn't really pick up too well and lay down on my eyes. So I started to use my finger with this one. Now, I don't know if it was the oil from my finger because I was doing that with the duochrome in the Solstice palette and I never had these issues, but there was little bumps starting. So that kind of weirded me out a little bit. So I started to use it as a highlighter and I actually finished this up this morning. I had just the very slightest amount left and I don't know how much you're going to be able to tell, but I was able to use that as a highlighter for the last like week or so. And I really enjoyed using it like that. I would mix it with a couple other highlighters that I've been working on. So it's not like it was just by itself and it was just a duochrome streak on my face. But I really did enjoy using that as a highlighter and I absolutely loved the duochrome shade. That was probably my favorite shade in this palette. So the fact that it's gone is like bittersweet because I miss it. But at the same time, I didn't miss the issues that I had with it. Let me know if you've ever used this palette before or if you ever had issues with that shade because I'm not sure what that was about, but I'm just happy that it's gone. I am so happy that I have 3 pans on this. I knew for sure that this shade would be gone. And really, I was just hoping for expansion on here and to just hit pan on here because I didn't have any pan when I rolled this in. And they are completely gone. 3 shades out of 8. I am so happy. And I know that I had said I would get a lot of usage on this palette over the first couple of months. Clearly I did. I use this almost every single day, so whether it's just a shade in the crease or something like that, so I knew that I was going to get good work on it. So for the next update, my goal is to hit pan in this 3rd shade here, hit pan in this shimmer shade down here, and it would be awesome if I could hit pan on this mauve shade, but I'm not holding my breath. But who knows? This palette has definitely surprised me, and I am just so happy with where I'm sitting at right now. So let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think I'll be able to do by next month? And are you just as surprised as me that I had completely finished off 3 pans in this palette? So for people who do go by weights, this is like an 8-gram palette. So I think each shade is supposed to be a gram, which kind of confuses me with other palettes when you're comparing them sometimes. But I try not to go by the weight too much. It is interesting to a point, but I don't want to compare palettes and usage and weights and all that kind of stuff. So this is almost there. It's almost halfway done and we are only at the first update. So I have a feeling this is definitely going to be done before the end of this year. Let me know when you think I might actually finish this. 2nd, 3rd update maybe, that would be kind of cool. And then if I do happen to finish this super early, then I will decide later on what I plan on doing. I do plan on starting pan those eyeshadows really soon. February 7th is going to be my introduction for that. So stay tuned because I'm hoping I can get some good shades to pair with this, especially if I have this much usage on it already. I'm not going to feel too overwhelmed, which is why I wanted to push that video back and start it in February. So let me know if you're doing Pan That Palette this year. I absolutely love watching these videos. I just find them so interesting and so much fun, and I'm super curious about everybody's progress. So let me know down below if you are one of those people, and I will definitely go check out your videos. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you guys all later. Bye.